Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Four Lads Had a Dream, Rangers midweek podcast. Why are we going at 5:30? I hear you ask. It is my fault. I'm afraid I'm taking my youngest to his football training, which takes place between 7 and 8 o'clock because they moved it today. So I apologise. That is why there's only two of us, because Christopher cannot be available at this time and nobody else could record the pod, so I had to go at this time. So I can only apologise. Kenny, thank you for making yourself available, as you always do. Looking splendid in white this evening. Have you had a good day?
I've had a day, that's for sure. Yes, it was actually a decent day, apart from being asked about by someone, but that's by the by. Hope your day was good, mate.
Do you know what I did last night, Kenny?
What?
I had sushi for the first time. Have you ever had sushi?
I have, yes.
I liked it. My favourite, there was one with crab in it and rice round it, and then it had like orange kind of chili flakes round it.
Yes.
Which were rather what I liked that one. That was one I liked.
It's for you.
I wouldn't.
I'm not a massive fan of sushi, I've got to be fair. Can eat it, but I'm not massively keen on it.
Actually, that's the way I felt about it until I had a wee try of it. But I wouldn't get like the raw salmon and all. I wouldn't get that. That doesn't.
Yeah, I would. That's the kind of ones that I like.
Obviously, you would. If I said sugar, you would say shite, wouldn't you, Kenny? So.
Well, sometimes.
Anyway. Yes. Anyway, right. Big news today, ladies and gentlemen. As we've discussed for what seems like forever, the future of James Tavernier. James Tavernier released a statement today, and it read the following: to the fans, my teammates, and all the staff at the club, after a lot of thought, I made the decision that this will be my final season at the club. This hasn't been an easy decision. This club has been a huge part of my life and my family's over the last 11 years. It's given me so much joy both on and off the pitch. And from the moment I arrived, I've always tried to give everything I have to represent it in the right way. To have had the honour of being made captain of the club since 2018, it's something I will always be incredibly proud of. Leading the team out, wearing the armband and being trusted in that role has meant more to me than I can properly put into words. We've shared the highs and the lows together and some truly incredible moments along the way. These will include the lifting the Scottish Cup, League Cup, our journey to the European final, and those unforgettable European nights at Ibrox against Dortmund and Leipzig, where the atmosphere was something I will never forget. It also includes winning the league title and delivering 55, a moment that meant everything to this club, its supporters, and one I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Excuse me. To all the players I've shared the pitch and dressing with over the years, thank you. The bonds we built, the battles we've been through, and the memories we've created are what makes this game so special. To the staff who work tirelessly behind the scenes every single day, thank you for everything you've done for me and for the team. Your support often goes unseen, but is never gone unappreciated. To the fans, your support home and away through every high and every difficult moment has meant more than I can ever fully express. You're the heart and soul of this club, and it has been a privilege to play in front of you. This isn't the end just yet. There is still a season to finish, and we are fully focused on pushing for the league title. I will continue to give absolutely everything, as I always have, until the very last day. While I feel the time is right for a new challenge, my focus right now is finishing this season the right way, together. Thank you for everything the club has given me. It's been the greatest honour of my career to represent it and to lead it. This club will always be part of me, and I will always be part of it. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. James Tavernier. Your thoughts, Kenny?
Well, that's the Willie, won't he, put to bed, isn't it? Listen, we've all had our say on James Tavernier over the years, haven't we? For me personally, it's the right time for him to go. However, the statement today is a little bit out of the blue when you consider what he was saying just the other day. But he'll go with my best wishes, and I hope wherever he goes, he has that other 3 or 4 years that he feels he's got, and I hope he has a wonderful end to his career, wherever he may be. And you know, rumours abound already that he's going to places like Saudi or America or down to the Championship, or down at Norwich and stuff like that. There's already a number of rumours. We will wait and see what happens. But for me, the timing is I've heard a lot of debate already today about the timing, whether it's right or wrong. I think the timing of this is actually right, because every single week, every single press conference that goes on from here to the end of the season, it's going to be a topic. Well, it's not a topic anymore. He's made his decision, and what a player he's been for us over the years, mate. We can't deny that. Is he past his best? Yeah, probably. But that comes to everybody when they hit James Tavernier's age, particularly in that position. So a wonderful servant to Rangers Football Club, and I wish him the very, very, very best and every success in his future career.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's more than fair. James Tavernier is extremely polarising in the eyes of the support. I think that's fair to say. There is those that blame him for absolutely everything, including the grass being green and the sky being blue. It's certainly James Tavernier's fault. As soon as a defeat or a draw or something happens at the football club, it's James Tavernier's fault. Loser mentality, everything else. As Davey pointed out on Monday night, it took Sandy Jardine, who's considered probably the best right back in the club's history, 9 years to win a league title. He won 3 in 16 years. Tav's been here for 11. He's heading hopefully towards his second. I think that James Tavernier's due a hell of a lot of respect for his longevity, everything he's given the football club. I read a stat today that he's almost got 300 goal involvements in 11 seasons at Rangers. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, he's been at the forefront of some disappointing moments, but just like the stats in Sandy Jardine's career, Paul McStay is regarded as a legend by the same Celtic fans that criticised James Tavernier, and as captain at Celtic, he won 1 trophy in 8. So, stats can go against you as much as they can go for you. I think over the piece for £200,000, James Tavernier has been an absolutely outstanding football player for Rangers. As a captain, he's led the club in the right way. Never on the front pages, never putting the club into disrepute, leading it as a captain should. We can all have our say on whether or not he is a captain of Rangers, because he doesn't snarl and grab people by the throat on the football pitch. But all everybody has to say about James Tavernier as a captain is that he's a fantastic captain and he leads his dressing room. If he's good enough for Steven Gerrard, then he's certainly good enough for me. Kenny, for 200,000, there's an argument that you'll not find a better signing for that amount of money in Rangers history.
You've stole my thunder, because it's exactly what I was going to say. Pound for pound, he's probably the best signing of my lifetime. And if there is others, I can't think of them at the moment. You've just rounded off a stat there that's just incredible, Stevie. Almost 300 goal involvements for a right back in 10 seasons, 11 seasons. It's just nothing short of outrageous. Listen, we will look back on James Tavernier with the utmost regard and the highest fondness. I don't think there's any doubt in that. Absence does make the heart grow fonder, as they say. But the thing that I feel that I want to say about him is that when you look at that period under Gerrard, he was the epitome of the perfect right back. He was genuinely the epitome of the modern fullback at this moment in time. He had everything about his game. Is he the greatest defensively? No, but look at the modern game. Fullbacks are not the most defensive-minded players these days. That's the problem. You look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's a fantastic player, can't defend for toffee, mate. So that's the kind of thing that I would say that we are going to miss him greatly. We're going to miss those goal contributions greatly. But it's now up to Rangers to replace him, and replace him with as close. And it sounds crazy, this, but as close as you can to somebody like James Tavernier, only 10 years younger or whatever, because I've been looking back today. This is what I'm saying. I'm looking back today, and he's mentioned himself. The goal against Dortmund is probably my favourite goal, but it's just the way he led that particular team at that particular time. We will look back on that particular team that won that league and got to that Europa League final, and the first person that will come to mind, Stevie, will be James Tavernier.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose the age-old question, Kenny, we're going to ask is, has he been a good captain for Rangers? I don't think he's been one that's been infallible. I think there's probably been too many disappointments for us to put him personally. I'm not sure he's quite... I regard legends of the football club as John Gregg, Sandy Jardine, Richard Gough, Tiger Shaw, George Young, all these guys, Winners, McCoys, Hateleys, Gorhams, Alan McGregors, stuff like that. James Tavernier, to me, is a great Rangers player. Is he a legend? It depends what way you look at it. Not for me. I'm not sure that he would have needed more successes, in my opinion. But here's the thing: as a captain, if he leads this Rangers team to the title this season, considering where we are, that's a hell of an accolade. It's a hell of a way to go out. I notice he didn't say that in his. He said we've still got a title to win, but he didn't say I want it to go out. And I know why he didn't, because then people would have said, they can't give him what that is. But has he been a good captain? Is it the right time for him to announce this? Is it the right time for him to be going?
I feel it's the right time for him to announce it. If his mind's made up, or Rangers have had a word with him, whatever way it is, and told him that they don't feel that he'll get a renewal, then I think he's perfectly within his rights to turn around and say, well, look, I'm going to have to look to the future, but that doesn't stop me concentrating on the here and now when it comes to the next 5 games. There's 5 games left, Stevie, that would make him a 2-time title winning captain. Now, that's phenomenal. It doesn't matter how long you've been here, it is an achievement in itself. Now, I'll disagree with you. I do think he's a legend of the football club, and I think he'll go down in the annals of history, because I genuinely feel that when you look at what Rangers were when he arrived, a championship club, Stevie, and you look at them now, and you look at the different managers from, and these guys know their football. When you look at the likes of Steven Gerrard, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Barry Ferguson, all instantly took one look at the dressing room and went, yep, he's my captain. They did. So there's a reason for that, Stevie. These guys are the very, very top of the game in terms of their playing careers. They know football, and they seen something in them. So I'm not going to sit there and dispute the fact or disagree with guys of that caliber. So I do think that he's been a good captain, but that will always be tempered with the fact that we haven't won enough. But that's not strictly down to him. If you look at the League Cup final against Aberdeen a couple of seasons back, he scores the winner. He scored goals in semi-finals of European competitions. He scored goals away at Celtic Park, mate. He's done everything you can for Rangers. Bar winning the Europa League that year, he's got the lot, and he didn't miss his penalty. He did everything he could in that game. So I have no, listen, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, because I have absolutely ladled into James Tavernier at times, because I just feel that the performances haven't been as good as I would want them to be over the last year or so. But that's not going to allow me to take anything away from the man's Rangers career. He is up there, as I said before. He's a Hall of Famer, mate, and he deserves every single accolade that he's going to receive from here to the end of the season when he walks away. And he is going to get some reception, particularly at that Hibs game. You know yourself, he is going to get an emotional time of it, that last game at Ibrox, mate.
Yeah, and listen, he deserves it. I'll say one thing, and I keep saying it about James Tavernier. He deserves respect. He's been at the club for 11 years. He's been involved in 300-odd goals. He's not infallible. I've already said it. And I've talked to Tav loads of times about where I see him, and I've had a go at Tav because I feel like that he hasn't played well at times. But James Tavernier always took it. He always respected us. sat down with us after Hall of Fame and spoke specifically to fan media. Do I think he's a legend? No, I don't. Do I think he's a great? Yeah, I think he does, and I think he deserves that respect. I think the fitting way for him to leave in the summer is by winning a title. I think that's spot on. I hope that this spurs us on. Was I expecting the announcement? Nope, not at all. Has there been better right backs in their lifetime? Yes, I believe that Gary Stevens was a better right back than James Tavernier. I thought Gary Stevens was exceptional. But there's been players that are on lesser ability than James Tavernier that have won more at Rangers because they've been in better squads. James Tavernier's legacy will always be, for me, he came in the Championship, helped us in the Championship, helped us wade through all sorts of shit in the Premier League, the Caixinhas of this world and all sorts of stuff to finally get us back to a place where under Steven Gerrard we stopped the rot and won that league title. That's James Tavernier's legacy for me. And in that season, there can be no denying that the two huge moments in James Tavernier's Rangers career in 55 and in the Europa League run, he played a massive part in both of them. And for that, he gets my respect. As I said, he's not infallible. He's not the best right back I've ever seen. He's not a world beater. He's made some pretty horrendous mistakes in Rangers jerseys at times as well, and he'll hold his hands up to that. It's definitely, for me, the right time that he goes, but he should and hopefully will go with a title in his back pocket. So, as I said, it's only my opinion. What I believe is a Rangers legend is guys that have, been there, won a lot, but what makes a legend to somebody else is it's not for me to tell them they're wrong, and it's not for anybody else. So this will be a polarising one, but I think every single person, Kenny, wants what we all want, which is Rangers to win this league title and be able to shake our hand, wave goodbye to James Tavernier, and then we can finally find out if James Tavernier has been the problem in this dressing room all these years. Is he a serial loser? Is he bringing everybody down? We'll find that out now, and there can be no arguments. But for me, let's go and win 56, and let's go and do it quickly.
Yeah, and will the players have that extra motivation to try and win it for Tavernier, because he's clearly highly regarded within the building? So, yeah, probably. I don't feel personally that should be the motivation for anybody, though. You do it for yourself, you do it for your teammates, you do it for the club, you do it for the fans, you're doing it for everybody, but particularly for yourself first and foremost. Legend's a strange word, mate, because a legend is one of those that is in the very upper echelons of the football club, and there isn't many of them. However, as you say, is he a great? Yeah, probably. On this league title, yeah, I think it would be really fitting if we could win this for him, so that he can walk out as a champion. That would be wonderful. However, again, I'm trying to separate this news today from that, and just basically, this is about Rangers Football Club. It's about this team. It's about trying to get over this line. There's an opportunity here for us as a club, not just for the captain, but I just feel it's a situation where this is the end of an era, if you like, when you look at that team that won that league and got to that Europa League final, and he's the last that's there. So for that alone, I would love to see him do it, because he's been at the club for that long. But this league title is more important than just James Tavernier, Stevie. We've got to be honest about that and realistic about it. And I'm not sure how often he'll play over the next 5 games. I'm sure he'll feature, but there is a reason why Dujon Sterling is the first choice at this minute in time, mate, and it's because James Tavernier's legs have gone, and they're pretty much gone, because we can all see it with our own eyes, mate. And I'm going to actually put you on hold for a wee sec, mate, because I forgot to put my charger in. and this dodgy old laptop is about to crash. So give me 10 seconds, right?
If it's not Avon, it's a computer. What do you say to this? That's why we're looking for podders, ladies and gentlemen, when this is what I've got to put up with. No, I jest. Of course, Kenny's been here since day one, and he is absolutely fantastic. Favourite James Tavernier moment?
I heard that, Stephen.
Got to be. I thought your battery had died. Sorry, mate. Consensus in the comments is it's definitely Avon, and I have to agree. Favourite James Tavernier moment, Kenny? It's difficult to really look away from the 55 season and the European run. That Dortmund at home, the second goal was, Ibrox absolutely erupted. He scored some amazing goals for us. The free kick against Dundee United, the free kick at Parkhead didn't mean as much because it was a great goal, but we lost that game. The free kick against Dundee United was a thing of absolute beauty on the way to 55. I think the League Cup winner against Aberdeen as well, because that game was petering away at the end. It was 0-0, I think, going on to 70 odd minutes, and up pops Tav at the back post. So, there's been some big James Tavernier moments throughout the years, that's for sure.
My favourite goal will genuinely, I thought about it right away, and it was the first one that sprang to mind, and I've already mentioned it. It was the equaliser against Dortmund on a night where we'd come back with a 4-2 lead, and if you all remember this, Dortmund played us off the park. Jude Bellingham was absolutely magnificent in that first half. And I always remember standing in the concourse at half time, and me and my son sitting saying to each other, we need to find a way of dealing with this, or we're going to go out. Because it was quite clear they were just really on it. They were very, very good. They came to Ibrox meaning business. They had 2 goals to find, and they looked very, very capable of turning that deficit around. And that goal will forever live with me, from all of it, from Calvin Bassey doing a wee shimmy and a step over and beating his marker, to the cross in, to Morelos leaving it, to what was the big boys, the big centre halves, I can't remember, misjudging it. Hummels, that's the very boy, yes. His name escaped me there. But it's the way he gets over that ball. He's about 8-9 yards out, isn't he? The way he gets over that, and where I was in that stadium that night, mate, there was no doubt in my mind that it was going in. He just gets over it, smashes it into the ground and into the corner, and it's a perfect finish. And that night was so special for me, being there with my son and stuff like that. It was just incredibly special to be there with my young son at that time and appreciate what we'd just done. And it was a proper feeling of the Porto game a couple of years before that was a bit like that. Just a kind of look at what we had to go through to get to be at that stage and at that level where you're knocking out a team as quality as Dortmund, who, if I remember right, mate, people forget this, did they not get to the semis or the final of the Champions League the next year? I mean, it was incredible. They were an outfit, and James Tavernier, that particular campaign was just sensational. I mean, genuinely sensational. And that goal was perfect. The moment, that's probably my favourite goal, but my moment is also a goal, and it's just a moment of utter disbelief, was the Dundee United free kick. I mean, that's nearly 40 yards out, mate, and he just hits that as sweet as you will ever see a free kick hit. And I always just remember just being in complete awe. And how anybody can hit a ball that well is just sensational. So, yeah, good times, mate. But all good things come to an end. That's what I said.
Absolutely. I like some of his underrated goals for me. He scored a beauty at Paisley a couple of years ago. I think we won the game 3-0. It was a last goal of 3. half volley right in the top corner, sweet as a nut, right in the last minute or so, I think. He scored a cracker away to Dundee in the 4-3 game last year. I think that brought it to 3-2, half volley again, just leathers it in the corner. And I think there's a lot. His goal catalogue will be special, but my favourite James Tavernier moment is still to come. Who would bet upon James Tavernier leathering one in that wins the title for Rangers? That's the dream outcome for me. But you know what? Here's the funny bit. James Tavernier doesn't start at right back for any games for me in the close of the season. Sorry, mate. If we're picking our Rangers team, Sterling starts against Motherwell. Sterling starts at Parkhead. Sterling starts at Tynecastle. Sterling starts at home at Hibs, and Tav gets 20 minutes at the end. And if we're in a position to do so, he probably plays against Falkirk because it's an astral pitch, and we've already understood that. But as we all said a couple of weeks ago against Falkirk, that Calvin Miller against James Tavernier, I didn't want that. And it turned out to be exactly what we all feared. So, listen, I've got a lot of respect for James Tavernier, but it is the right time. It's the right thing to do, and we wish him all the best, Kenny. But we move on. There will be more James Tavernier discussion, I'm sure, to the end of the season. Let's just hope he does it. Let's hope he goes out in the right way for it. That's what we all want. At least, you and I have spent 2 years, let's be honest. We spent the first 2 years of this podcast talking about it being the right time for James Tavernier to go and he should be replaced in the team. I still stand by that. It's just the evolution of this Rangers team under Danny Rule is the right time to do it. So, goes with our best wishes, and we'll talk about this more as the season goes on, that's for sure. Liam Balogun has spoke about his time at the club with the Rangers Review. He still loves the club and follows from Cyprus. Wore one of the old Rangers tops he has from Dick Advocate's second season, I believe. That one blue and turned up in that. Interestingly, he said, and he was always one of the first ones. Leon Balogun was great with me. Leon Balogun was one of the nicest ones that I've dealt with fan media. The way he spoke about us, the time he took about us, took with us, he always stepped aside. He's done some interviews for us and stuff. He admitted the squad bottled it at times, Kenny, which I found interesting. Maybe referring to certain cup moments, I would say. Perhaps league moments here and there. But very honest in his time. It would have been interesting to see him push him on exactly what games and perhaps where he meant. But he always spoke honestly, and that's an interesting thing to say.
Hugely interesting. It's what I took from the interview, and it's a good interview, actually. Well done to Blair, because it is a good interview. But it's some really interesting things to be hearing, actually, when a wily old fox like Leon Balogun admits that if he feels that they bottled it. You're right, it'd be interesting to know what kind of points or key elements of games that he feels that's happened. How would you put this? I think we all know this, don't we? I think we've always known that we've bottled that. Intriguing for an ex-player to turn around and admit it. But he's such a brilliant guy, isn't he? And he's a proper Rangers fan these days. And I just feel that it's one of those things that if you could pinpoint where he feels, there'll be elements where under Philip Clement, I think that'll be definitely one of them where he'll know that was theirs for the taking and they didn't get there. But there'll be other points as well that he'll be talking about, which I find very interesting, and I totally agree with you. I would be intrigued and very interested to find out what he feels was the problem where, on the face of it, teams shouldn't bottle it like that, Stevie. They just shouldn't. You've got the talent, you've got the mentality there. So what is it that breaks down to force the frailties to come out? And it's mental frailties, obviously, and it's it's a carelessness and stuff like that we obviously had at the time. And you don't hear many ex-players come out with stuff like that, do you? You genuinely don't. So that was the kind of key thing that I took from it.
Yeah, me too. This did make me laugh and smile at the same time. He says, praise Nico Raskin, said he would believes he's a potential captain for Rangers. I think Nico Raskin's a ready-made replacement for James Tavernier, but there will be others that disagree. I also think Manny Fernandez. May I just say now, John Souttar is not for me in his current form. John Souttar could be captain in some games, but he doesn't start in a Rangers team for me, which is interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does there. This made me laugh. He said he clashed with him at times, Kenny. Nobody would have been shocked at that. We know what Nico's like. Nico Raskin is the nicest guy in the world. Given me a lot. He's done a lot for me. Somebody I really like, somebody I get on with really well. But it's of no surprise to me that his desire and will to win is incredible. But it does. Neil McCann, was ready to throttle him. So was Barry Ferguson. But they got the best out of him. I believe we saw the best out of Nico Raskin in the second half against Falkirk. We need that leadership. We need that style in the next 5 games. Nico Raskin could lead us to a title with that kind of performance and form. But I had to laugh. No one's going to be surprised when he says they don't get on with Nico Raskin at times in the dressing room.
Not at all. And it's the things you're not surprised to hear. Volume 1, that one, isn't it? But at the same time, look, there's you look back on that particular team when we young Nico came into that team, and you've got some serious players in there like Leon and Connor Goldson and stuff like that who were no shrinking violets, mate. And you've got a young whippersnapper or a ruffian turning up for Belgium telling you what's what. And I don't think many of them would have liked it. But he did also say, mate, that he had the utmost admiration for him because he would stand his ground and he wouldn't back down. If he felt he was right, Nico, then didn't matter. And that's why they what was it he said? We head-butted at times, or butted heads together at times. So there's obviously been stuff going on behind the scenes where one's arguing with the other and one's getting a forthright point of view, and so's the other. And I'll tell you what, fair play to young Nico, right? Because I wouldn't be standing toe to toe with Leon Balogun at all. He's a monster. He's huge, and I listen. It's been a wee bit of a reminiscing podcast, this one, isn't it? You look back and Leon Balogun, what a player he was, and I'm going to say it because everybody else says it. If we could only have got him 10 years previously, then what a player we would have got, Absolutely magnificent. And such an honest guy that loves our football club, mate.
Yeah, I love that. Did speak to Leon about the possibility of coming on this podcast. We will work with him again. I'm
coming on for that. I'll need to tell you a wee story. The first time he left, I DM'd him and asked him for an interview when I was working for the Fourth Official, and the guy patched me, so I was very disappointed. Bet he wouldn't patch you, Stevie.
Wouldn't patch me, mate. He's already spoken to me, so I'll just need to go by that. But I've known Leon because we've done interviews. There's interviews on the site for Leon and stuff like that, and he's a really good guy, and I think that he knows that we would be doing it for the fans, so perhaps he would venture on. But we'll wait and see. He spoke of Manny Fernandez, very complimentary, which we would expect. Manny Fernandez, as I said, is in with a shout. We were talking about this. It'd be interesting. We were talking about who would be your player of the year for this season. There was a good few suggestions. Jack Butland for his form early doors, where he had to be, Spider-Man basically, like when he was in goals under Russell Martin's team, because he had about 8,000 shots a game. Tour Romans could have been if he had here for longer. Manny Fernandez missed the first couple of months, but I think Manny Fernandez has been exceptional. Mikey Moore definitely gets young player of the year, I would say, at 18. I think that's a shoo-in for Mikey Moore. Who would my player of the year be? There's 5 games to go, and the weirdest thing is that, you know, our player of the season could come from that. If Manny Fernandez heads in the winner, you know, everybody's going to flock towards Manny Fernandez. So if, you know, Tour Romans comes back and has a big hand, there'll be people saying that he could be our player of the year next year and stuff like that. You know, there's just interesting. Kenny, who's your player of the year as it currently stands? Mine, probably Butland, Fernandez. Probably Nico's in there as well. At tight, none of them's been outstanding. There's been a lot of good performers, really good performers at times. I'm interested to find out. Get the comments in as well. Who's your player of the year so far?
Manny Fernandez for me, mate, and it's not because I think he's been the overly outstanding candidate. I feel that in the first 6, 8, 10 weeks, whatever it was, he barely got a sniff. He didn't get a look in at centre half. Then when he did get a look in, mate, I remember you and I being on the gantry one night, and we don't have any hair, but by God, if we did, we would have pulled every single individual hair out watching him, because he was horrendous on the night, and he was. And I just look at it from that. Now that's what, September time, maybe. Yeah, probably September. It would be. And you just look at it from there, and you see, you know, 6, 7 months later, and the progression and the improvement in Manny Fernandez is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So for me, Butland's got a shout because he's been very, very consistent, bar the one game at Tynecastle. Now, has he made individual mistakes? Yeah, probably, yeah. I'm not going to sit and say no, but everybody has. Excuse me. Nico's come on to a game. I thought he started the season really poorly. Again, under Russell Martin, he was really pretty poor, didn't he? But he's admitted that in his interview last week. Didn't know the position, and it took him time, or he expected to get time, and felt he didn't really get that under Russell Martin. Chermiti, second half of the season, has come right onto a game. There's no getting away from it. He's been excellent.
Mate, what if Chermiti goes on a run and gets 8 goals in the running, and
he might well,
you know, and bags the winners that win the league? Everybody will flock towards the big man, and at times he's looked like he doesn't know what a football is, and it's crazy. It could be. Do you know what? It's finally set. It could be anyone, couldn't it?
Well, it could be that James Tavernier pops up and wins the league for you, and you're going to deny him player of the year if he goes and does that. If he goes and bags a 30-yard free kick to win the league for you, this is the great thing about what Danny Rowell's done, though, Stevie.
Can you imagine though all the people that blame James Tavernier for absolutely everything? If he was to go and do that and win the league for us, it would be a hell of a lot for them to go at. And we've all moaned at James Tavernier, but that would be quite something. As long as somebody scores a winner, I don't care who it is.
Exactly, mate. But again, this is what I mean. That you know, when you look at what Danny Rowell has done, there's been no outstanding performance as such. They've just bonded. They've blended together, and he's got a team out of that with no particularly outstanding individuals. Now, people have stepped up in individual games. That's why it's been so difficult to turn in and pinpoint who the best player of the season has been, because it's going in wee waves where Mikey Moore will play well for 3 or 4 games. Chermiti will do it. Jack Butland will save you a few points. Do you know what I mean? Manny Fernandez will turn up and score and be absolutely phenomenal to back in difficult games. Giga, even in the second half of the season, has been fantastic, Stevie. So you're sitting there looking at it and saying that we have, you know, Gassama at the start of the season was phenomenal, and he's not getting a look in, but he's been inconsistent at times, and that's why when you look at it, it's just been a team effort, mate. So it's very difficult to call that.
It certainly is. Ashton Scally has signed that contract we spoke about on Monday night, broken by Joshua Barry in Rangers Review. He had signed that deal, and of course Rangers have announced it now till 2029. Nice to have that. We knew it was going to be true anyway, but nice to have that confirmed, and look forward to seeing a lot more of him.
I genuinely think he'll go straight into the first team squad for next season, Stevie. I would expect us, if Jaden McGoldrick leaves, which I expect him to be honest, but if he does go and we don't bring him back, so to speak, I think he'll come into that squad. But I do feel that it'll be one of those. I don't think when you look at Tour Romans, he's had a bit of a stop-start season because he's came with a bit of an injury. We'll have to get cover for him because I don't feel that it would be fair on a 16-year-old for him just to be outright covered, because if Tour Romans gets a bad injury, mate, do you want a 16-year-old to sit there and have to play 30 games, 35 games over the course of next season when you're not 100% sure he's going to be ready? Now, we clearly all know the potential of this boy, and I hope he absolutely smashes it, obviously. But I think that's what we'll do. That's what you'll find. It'll be the likes of him and the young boy Kyle Glasgow will be in and about that squad. And if any of the top 20, put it a different way, that I think all managers would want 2 players for every position, perhaps with an extra 5, 6, 7 players round about. And if either the first or the second choice left back next season gets injured, then young Ashton will find himself on the first team. He will find himself on the bench, no question. That's where I see it. I think he is that highly regarded up there. And I said it on Monday, and I'm going to say it again, just because I know how difficult the decision for young Ashton was to decide his future. And he had a lot of help from his mum and his dad, obviously, but particularly his dad. And whatever has swayed them to stay at Rangers, they must know he's going to get game time. It's all I can think, Stevie, that they must really feel that Rangers is the right place to be, because when you've got those kind of offers and those type of football clubs to literally craving to get you, then fair play to the young man for staying where he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, quick point. Union Bears have asked fans to bring flags and colour to the Motherwell game at the weekend. Massive game, Kenny, on Sunday. Definitely Sunday. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good. I'd love to see it. I'll be on the gantry, so we're not allowed to do that. But I'll have a wee sneaky something underneath or something like that, mate. Make sure I flash my colour somewhere. But yeah, let's make it an extravaganza. Let's make it, and excuse my language, let's make it as difficult as fuck for them on Sunday. Let's make it a really, really, really intimidating place to go and play your football. And listen, the crowd will be up for it right away. It's such a massive game. The news today of James Tavernier is going to add to that. I would imagine it's going to be quite spicy. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And fair play as ever to the Union Bears for turning around and saying, look, let's bring the noise, let's bring the colour, let's make it an intimidating arena for Motherwell, or as intimidating as we can. Obviously, I know players don't get overly phased with stuff like this now, mate, but they can if you're getting your backs to the wall. That's the point.
Yeah, absolutely. Final thing tonight. 4 lads are playing Grangemouth on Friday evening. It is arranged by Amrit. This is Amrit's gig. So he's arranged it. Myself, Kenny, Scott Patterson and Amrit will be on stage. £20 per ticket. You get a free 4 lads gift. Drink, raffle, hot buffet. You get some candied ice cream. Worth it just for that alone. Pick a mix sweeties to take home for the journey, and you're raising money for local charities. This is a charity gig. Location, Masonic Lodge, 41 Bowness Road, Grangemouth. We're really looking forward to that. Tickets, £20. There's a few left. I think there's 10, 15 tickets left. It would be nice to sell them out. We haven't really promoted it as such. As I said, this has been Amrit's gig. He's been doing all the work behind it. If any of you are looking for a ticket and fancy coming along to meet the guys on Friday evening, please get in contact with us. 4ladshadadream@gmail.com. 4 is spelled 4, not the number 4. We're really looking forward to that. So that should be fun. Kenny and I, before that, will be on the gantry for Rangers versus Hearts women, Kenny. Rangers were a chance to go top of the league. We'll look forward to getting back to gantry duty. As such at Broadway, but will definitely be a match day vlog for sure.
We'll do something, mate, yeah. But then I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be interesting to see how they do. And then we're off to Grangemouth, and I'll need to bring. Oh no! See if Amrit's watching. Amrit, bring in one of those tins that keeps it frozen for me, and I'll take it home with me, my ice cream, because he's too far away for me to travel to. Actually, it's far too far away. But now that I'm over there, I'm expecting some really nice ice cream, Amrit. So looking forward to this, mate. And you know I'm jesting, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to Friday, because the last one we had was in Blackpool, and or the last one I had was in Blackpool, and that was some experience, wasn't it? And I was driving my son over into work and up in the West End today, and I turned around and I said to him, you know the story I'm going to say? I said, see that story I told you about the tooth? He said, yes, it's that bar, the Roseville, and it was the Roseville bar, Stevie. And I know this is a bit cryptic and I can't really tell the story, but makes me laugh every time I drive past it, put it that way.
Yeah, let's just say that the gig we done in Blackpool was interesting, to say the least. We had some live entertainment, which was not provided by ourselves. So yeah, Friday night won't be like that. It'll be lots of good fun. If you fancy it, please get in contact. We can get you a ticket or two. Be lovely to meet you all and see you all. Right, okay. So that rounds us up this midweek. Sorry we had went early. We hope it didn't. You know what? There's thousands of you watching across all channels, so it didn't really stop anybody joining in. So we really appreciate it. Massive game for Rangers on Sunday. Back Friday night, the live pod will be on, even though we are at a live show. The guys will still be podding on Friday evening. Might even do a review on Saturday. We'll see how it goes. Huge thanks to all our sponsors: Rhino Express, Clydeview Fire Protection, and joining the Athlone Industrial Solutions, CSD Air Conditioning, Candid, our very own Amrits, and rydc.co.uk, our Sunday show sponsor. We are looking for new sponsors. If you fancy getting involved with Four Lads and you have a business to promote, please drop us an email at fourladsdream@gmail.com. Spell it 4, not the number. We are looking for new sponsors for next season. Most of our sponsors will be leaving us, so if you do want to help, please get in contact. That would be lovely. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe the podcast on YouTube. We would really appreciate that. Right, I'm off. We need to go. Thank you very, very much for joining us, Kenny. Pleasure, as always.
Same, buddy. Same. Enjoyed that. And a wee bit unusual to go this early, but thoroughly enjoyed that. So will you go and do what you got to do, mate? And I'm going to go and watch the Man City game after I've cut my grass, I think.
So Chelsea have sacked Rosner. Are you surprised?
Didn't even know that, mate. That's the first I've heard of that. But no, I am not surprised at all. Yeah,
what are they playing? Right, so here's the story. You would have been in the car when we were talking about this with Davy Edgar, and I've followed Chelsea most of my life. I suppose you would say they're my kind of English interest, and said that as soon as they announced that they got him on a 6-year contract, I said, this is madness. Plays the type of football that Chelsea fans don't like, and it will never work. Sure enough, we're not even 6 months into it, and he's gone. Absolute madness. This craze for these footballing coaches. We've seen Russell Martin fail right in front of us. Wilfred Nancy failed at them right in front of us, which we all thoroughly enjoyed. Rosner's just another one that's gone. This fad of these football and tactical guys and how you want to play football, it's over, Kenny. People are now realising it, and big teams aren't going to keep making the same mistakes of looking for this young hip coach, because they simply don't work.
Well, we'll see, because they keep doing it, and the senior one was absolutely bonkers, mate, because he hadn't really done huge amounts in the game prior to that. He gets sacked by Hull, I think it was. Had went to Strasbourg, I believe, if I remember right. Hadn't overly set the heather on fire there. I just find that this philosophy stuff, a whole pile of nonsense, mate. I can't be doing with it. And yeah, it's one of those things that it's all right if you're Pep Guardiola to turn around and say that I have a philosophy, but then look at what Pep's done over the last 7 or 8 years, and he's reformed what he does. He's reshaped what he does a lot of the time, whereas these guys don't. They've got that Pep notion from 7 or 8 or 9 years ago, and they stick to it, and they are not changing what they do. And there's a reason why Russell Martin gets sacked, mate, and it's the reason why Rossinier gets sacked, is that we've got all the ball, but the other teams get 17 to 20 shots at goal at you every single game, and they're scalping you because, particularly, we were getting draws, but see at that level, Stevie, at the Premier League, teams are just going to wipe the floor with you. They are, when you try this nonsense. So, yeah, I stuck something up about Chelsea that was on the Athletic there, and it's terrifying, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of gambling with finances going on at Chelsea. It is not good at this moment in time. Right, that was a wee deviation from all things Rangers, but we will be back Friday. Vlog from Rangers versus Hearts women's game, live pod on the Friday evening, live show. If you want to join us in Grangemouth, please get in contact. Probably back Saturday night to do something before Motherwell, perhaps. We'll wait and see how the gang all feel, but we will definitely be live on Sunday from Rangers versus Motherwell and the Sunday night show as well. Plenty of content for you here on Four Lads. Guess what? Guess what, everybody? Let me see this before we go. Yes. Yes. Found it. See if you want to become a member. See that thing up there in the corner? Up there. Aye, over there. That way. If you want to become a member, then it's not. Like, remember, it's flipped round the screen because of the way I'm looking at it.
I know. It's me. We'll both be looking at it and agreeing with each other. The way I'm looking at it is that way, but I now understand I'm mirrored, so it's probably that way, yeah.
Look, it's up in one of the corners that you might be looking at. Right? If you want to become a member of the podcast, please do. There's over 650 odd of you. And tomorrow, what day is it? Wednesday? Tomorrow we have that exclusive interview with 1972 Cup winner, Cup legend, the legend himself, Willie Matheson, is on telling his story, and that is an exclusive to Four Lads' Dream. Never done a podcast before, in his 80s, loves the show and wants to come on and tell his story. Willie Matheson will be a fantastic podcast. Can't wait for that. Davey is like a kid on Christmas. He cannot wait.
Mate. No wonder. What a brilliant opportunity that is. I'm quite jealous of Davey, actually. And I was going to pull him up because I went out my way not to become a member of this, and I think I will. Too tight to give you the quid.
£1 a month. It'll be live tomorrow afternoon, folks. It won't be live because Willie is, as I said, Willie's gentleman. He's mid-80s. We'll need to maybe help him through it a wee bit and do some editing and things like that. Please just be a wee bit patient. We should have it up on the afternoon, so I hope you thoroughly enjoy that. Willie Matheson, 1972 Cup Winners' Cup legend. Right, I need to go. Young fella needs to go to football training, so I need to go. Have a brilliant evening. Enjoy the football if you're watching it. I'll see you all again Thursday. Members, Willie Matheson pod will be up tomorrow afternoon. Bye for now. On behalf of Kenny and I, have a good night.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.